What up, YouTube? Okay, I got a PM, and this black woman was like, why is it okay for other minority women, whether they're Asian, Middle Eastern, or even white, why is it okay for them to go off and get advanced degrees and, get certain type of positions and they're not publicly outed? Now, I would say this. There is a microphone on black culture, so we don't necessarily know the inner workings of different cultural groups, so we really don't know if it's a problem or not. But I will say this. Women with advanced degrees have a hard time dating, period. Okay? Let's not act as if, white female doctors have an easy time dating while black female doctors are struggling. Okay? Yeah, her odds may be a little bit higher, but they're still up there. Okay? And even if these women do have the opportunity, it doesn't mean they are taking them. Once again, you have to look at the numbers. Why is it that certain jobs tend to be dominated by women and other jobs are dominated by men? We can say, oh, it's a boys' club and, the men are not allowing the women to rise up. But a lot of the time, it's the women saying, hey, I don't want to do all that. Okay, I don't want all the stress that goes along with, having these higher positions. People think that the more money you make, the easier it gets. No, in terms of, the ease of your job, it gets harder. I don't really think most people know anybody who's making significant money, because if you knew anybody who's making significant money, you would understand what they have to do. All the traveling, the meetings, there is no 9 to 5. There is no, hey, I have weekends off. It's, I work around the clock. And, if I have time, I have time. So, as a woman, it is clear that that world may not be for her. Maybe when she's young, but she's not built mentally or physically to have that sort of lifestyle after the age of 30. They're just not built. Okay? Men were meant to be hard laborers. Okay? It is what it is. So they're not built, so they choose not to do it. Okay? But in regards to, them not being vilified for getting advanced degrees in some certain types of careers, I'll put it to you like this. There's no need, okay, to set up the family. Okay? That's already intact. When your family situation is taken care of, you can explore. Right? You can go further from home when it. That's why when people go camping or they go on some expedition or whatever, what do? We've seen the movies. We've seen Jurassic Park and all these different, adventure type movies. What do? Oh, we need to set up base camp. Okay, we have to set up some rendezvous point so we can go off and explore and come back and talk about what we, found. That's what they do. Set up a base camp. We don't have a base camp. So what if, you go off and you're an adventurer and you find something or something significant or some gold or you need to run back for safety? Where are you going to come back to if you have no base camp? Okay? We don't have a base camp as black people. So, yeah, we may be professionals and go off and, accumulate all this wealth and all these treasures and the rubies and the gems and, the crowns. But where are we bringing it back to? What base camp are we coming back to? Nothingness. To me, it's a waste of time. It is a waste of time to accumulate so much wealth, whether it's informational or monetary or both, and you have nobody to pass it on to. What's the whole point? Why are you killing yourself? I mean, shit, your son's not even going to be able to drive the car that you have. At least one day, my son can drive, my old Mercedes-Benz or something, that would be his first car. But, if you don't have anybody to pass anything on to, where's it going to go? I mean, what are you going to do with it? Nothing. So there's a need for us to set up base camp. People always want to talk about history and how black people have been historically, deprived of this. What we've been historically deprived of, more than anything else, is our right to develop and sustain a family. Okay, that is what we've been robbed of. That's what slavery took away. People are so confused in terms of what slavery did and what white racism does to black people. You know what it does? It destroys our ability to have a family. It destroys it. You think white America cares that we have some successful black people here and there? Okay, they ain't gonna pass anything on. A black woman showing up and saying she has this and that degree, okay, who's she going to pass it on to? Okay, when when she leaves, back to business, who else is going to step up? What people don't understand is the power of just the Obamas isn't the fact that, Barack is just so accomplished or Michelle is so accomplished. The power is, oh my gosh, there's actually an Obama name. I hope that they have one more child, or I hope that he adopts a son, and so he can pass on the last name of Obama, because the daughters are going to eventually grow up and marry off. But there's the family name. So it's like, all the money that they made and all the stuff that they know is going to go on to more Obamas. It's going to go on to more black people. Now we have to deal with this shit. We were able to deal with, one Obama, one Michelle. Now we got, more. How are we going to deal with that now? That's the power. But do you think people would care? Okay, in terms of it was just Obama by himself, some well-educated, well-spoken black dude, or, Michelle, some educated, well-spoken black woman. There's no fear in that. There's no fear. So anyways, if you just look at what black people are supposed to be doing and the whole aims of the civil rights movement, okay, the whole aims of the civil rights movement was to give people, black people, the tools just to sustain healthy, happy families, so that we can support ourselves emotionally, financially, and spiritually. That was the whole point. I don't think people were, during the civil rights movement, doing what they were doing simply so we can be the CEO of McDonald's or, Kraft or Exxon or, some, super billion-dollar type of business. I think they're doing it so, hey, we can have an average family, so mommy can come home and daddy can come home, we can eat, and we can go through the football around, and we can go to back to school night, and, we can go to church on Sundays, and we can drink hot cocoa on Christmas Eve and watch Home Alone 2. Mad family-oriented stuff. That was the whole point. That was the whole aim. So, but people come on and act as if, you're not helping out the black cause because, you have this degree or you have this job and you're not trying to be the biggest and the brightest and the best. I push the whole idea of black business and black ownership, not so we can, be billionaires, but so we can own something and so we can give it to our families. So that if I own something, I can go out and hire a black person who's qualified and say, hey, I don't give a fuck, excuse my language, about being racially sensitive. Okay, what do they say? The best jobs are always for, the boss's niece or nephew. So why can't black people have that same sort of attitude? That's why I care about, ownership. Just to pass something on, and so that I know that I can at least be responsible for employing other black people who are qualified and not have them have to worry about, am I not getting hired because he's racist or this, that, and the third. Hey, come on, you're black and you're qualified. Come get this job. That's what I'm concerned about. Because I know that if they're stable, they can somehow build a stable family. So once our base camp is set up, then we can branch out. Okay, once our family is intact, the whole idea of us kicking butt academically and professionally, that will follow suit. Okay, people want to look at higher minorities, in terms of Asians and Indians, and they're like, well, they value education. Yes, they do, and that's important. But what is more important than that is the fact that they have a strong base camp, which allowed them to invest in education, because as we all know, education is an investment and it doesn't pay off immediately. Okay, but they had that support group that allows them to invest. So that allows the Indian boy to go off to law school or med school or do whatever. Or it allows the Asian boy to go take over the parents' business after he gets out of school. Because that base camp is already there. Okay, so all of the resources are put into one central spot. That's what it does. People think of the family as something. I just wish more people would think of it almost on a military type of, we need to conquer and we need to explore this land and take it over, that sort of mentality. People talk about helping out the black community and people want to be hardcore about it. Well, it comes from the family. It's just that, the family, whenever you say family, it kind of has this soft connotation. But when I talk about family, I'm talking about something hard, something hardcore. You might as well call it a base camp. I'm going to start calling the family base camp. I want a woman that's going to come through and help me run my base camp and train my recruits. and make sure that we're well fortified and we can fend off our enemies, right? That's what I want now. So hopefully people can understand where I'm coming from. Forget family. Let's start using the word base camp, right? So that's what I'm trying to get at. So to bring it back to what the question was originally, why is it okay for other women to, go off and get professional degrees in certain type of jobs? They already have their base camp set up, They already have it set up. So anything that they gain and everything that they come on, they can bring it back and pool it with other resources. Okay? That's why it's okay. And for black people, we haven't reached that point where we can do that. People sacrifice not so we can go off and, like I said, be the CEO of this company and that. They went off so we can have happy families. So if you want to honor black people and act like you're doing the right thing, think about setting up your own base camp. You guys take it easy. God bless.